Mic's gonna kick in here. Aha. Okay. And welcome and checking in if we're ready with our technicals. Awesome. All right. Well, then we will start our meeting. Tonight is our Monday, May 12th council meeting. Welcome to everyone here in the council chambers or watching on the recording. We are happy to have you here and be a part of our local city government. Our first thing to start with is having a roll call. I'll ask our city clerk to please do that.
Councilmember Spriggs?
Here.
Councilmember James?
Here.
Mayor Marquez Simula?
Here. And if you're wondering if our seats look a little empty tonight, we have two people who are unable to make it. So if you're new to our council meeting, there's usually 5 of us up here. Now, if you're able to, please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we will approve our agenda and ask if the council would like to approve it as it's presented. Seeing yes, then, all in favor to approve the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Next, it brings us to our proclamations, presentations, recognition, announcements, and guests. So tonight is a really great, exciting evening. We have a business and some citizens that we would like to recognize. Our first is our business of the year. And so first I'm going to read a little bit about the business and then ask them to come on up for a photo with the council. So business of the year, Heritage Salon. And you can cheer, I guess. We could cheer, right? Woo! For anyone who hadn't looked ahead at the meeting notes, they might not know. 16 years ago, Heritage owner and stylist Donna Malman was renting a chair at a salon in Northeast Minneapolis, hoping to open a place of her own someday. After pursuing a space that fell through, she happened to drive down 40th Avenue, an area she'd never been before, and spotted a for rent sign in that window at 530 40th Avenue Northeast. She contacted the business owner and came away with the opportunity to make her salon a reality in Columbia Heights. When Donna opened Heritage, she set out to be a community-based salon offering affordable services for everyone. She wanted families from the neighborhood to be able to walk to her salon, and many do just that. Donna has made many connections within the Columbia Heights community over the years and appreciates their ongoing support. She and her team work at the salon 6 days a week, and word-of-mouth referrals are important to the business's success. People in Columbia Heights keep their word to support small and local, she said. We're really happy when people come to our shop, and we try to show that with our customer service. During the uncertainty of the pandemic, the building's owner offered Donna the chance to purchase the property. Many banks were reluctant to finance a loan for a salon at that time. But she was fortunate to secure a loan from a local bank that allowed her to purchase the property and stay at her location. Since then, Donna has added an advanced practice esthetician to provide skincare services alongside the hair services she and one other stylist provide. Beyond the business, Donna stays active in the industry through teaching and mentoring students. She also gives her services to those in need through volunteer efforts that offer need-based services to various groups. Donna enjoys seeing new businesses take root on 40th Avenue. As that corridor evolves, she says, "Whatever the future holds, I'm ready for it." We like being a part of the community, and we hope to be here for many, many years. Congratulations to Heritage Salon for being named the 2025 Business of the Year. Your contributions have significantly strengthened our community. So now, Donna and team, if you can come on up, we'll do a photo with the council. This part of the meeting is a lot of up and down for photos. Next is our our Youth Outstanding Citizen of the Year, and this goes to Asa Rude. As a sophomore, this year's Outstanding Citizen for youth category, Asa Rude, didn't expect to be an officer with the district's Gay Straight Alliance, the GSA, at the start of this school year. After encouragement from peers, they decided to run for president and were elected. As GSA president, they've had the opportunity to provide leadership and guidance to the organization they've been involved in since 7th grade. When student liaisons opportunity became available with the Columbia Heights School District this year, ASA also put their name in and was appointed as a student representative in January. They attend Board of Education meetings and are a member of the board's policy subcommittee, where they provide student input on policy decisions. They say, I have learned so much from both activities, such as leadership skills and how the Board of Education works. In addition to their roles with the GSA and school board, ASA is involved in synchronized swimming, theater, speech, choir, and is part of the high school's activities student leaders group. For other young people looking to get involved in the community, ASA recommends starting with an interest and talking to as many people as you can about it. The more people you talk to, the more ways you get involved that you will discover. Thank you, and please join me in congratulating Asa Rude, our Youth Outstanding Citizen of the Year. And come on up for a photo.
I'd just like to say thank you so much. Like, this is a massive honor, and I've really enjoyed being so involved in the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asa and family. So glad to have you all here. Next, we have our Outstanding Citizen of the Year for Jennifer Piper Muno. Passing by Heart Lake, you might spot 2025 Outstanding Citizen Jennifer Piper Muno picking up litter in the area. She's made it a priority over the last 28 years in her Columbia Heights neighborhood and is even considering hip waders to get those harder to reach items. She hopes to encourage the community to do the same by sharing her efforts on social media. I try to inspire people to get out and do their block, she said. Jennifer started volunteering as a young adult, bringing her animal on nursing home visits, supporting hospice patients through her massage therapy profession, and serving on the PTA when her children were in school. For the past 17 years, she's volunteered with Eastside Meals on Wheels, which was a natural segue to volunteer with SECA, Southern Anoka County Assistance, where she has assisted with holiday meal deliveries and steps in a substitute driver for deliveries. Over the past 6 years, she has become active with the local community organization Heights Next. She now leads the group's annual City Garden Tour and volunteers at several annual community events. It's in my DNA to volunteer, she says. Heights Next has provided opportunities to continue that in Columbia Heights. When a neighbor had the idea to start community coffee gatherings in 2023, Jennifer offered to help and continues to help plan gatherings and get the word out. She says the informal meetups are a great way to meet new residents and get people connected while supporting local businesses. Her advice to anyone on the fence about volunteering: don't worry if you don't want to be in the spotlight. There are so many ways to volunteer behind the scenes that aren't public facing, she says. Start by finding something that interests you and go from there. Thank you, and please join me in congratulating Jennifer Piper Muno, our Outstanding Citizen of the Year. And then come on up.
My dad called me about an hour ago and asked me if I'd worked on my acceptance speech. I said no, and I joked that all of my volunteering has led to this moment, and now I'm done.
No.
I'm kidding. Yes, you meet so many people similar who volunteer in the community, and I've made a lot of friends doing volunteer work in the city, and it fills your cup because even though you're giving your time, you get so much back in the process. And I sure hope that I have inspired other people to do and get involved, because the more of us that do things for our lovely little Columbia Heights, just the much better city it is for everyone to enjoy. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And in case you would like to learn more or see more of our outstanding business and citizens, they will be in our spring or summer newsletter coming out. They have an opportunity to be in the Jamboree Parade as well. So yeah, we will hopefully get to see them around more often. And then next year, when all of you write in to suggest and nominate someone for Outstanding Citizen and Youth and Business of the Year, the same people will come back with me and we will discuss who will be chosen next time. So they're gonna kind of take their experience this year and then use that in helping choose the next people. So yes, so thank you again. We'll do one more round of applause and then we're gonna go into our Police Week proclamations. So stick around, but congratulations. Congratulations. Tonight we have our Police Week proclamation, and reading this evening is going to be our council member, Rachel James.
Thank you, Mayor. Police Week, May 11th through the 17th, 2025. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week it falls as National Police Week. These observances honor the service and sacrifice of law enforcement officers who have lost their lives while protecting our community and upholding our shared values. Since the first recorded law enforcement death in 1786, more than 24,000 officers across the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice. Among them is Officer Kurt Ramsdell of the Columbia Heights Police Department, who was killed in the line of duty on July 30th, 1977. His service and memory continue to be honored by our community. Today, the Columbia Heights Police Department comprises dedicated individuals who serve with professionalism, compassion, and care. Our officers take time to build relationships with residents, support public safety, and foster trust throughout our neighborhoods. The department represents and reflects the diversity of our community, and we are proud to have officers who represent the people they serve. May 15th, Peace Officers Memorial Day, honors all fallen officers and their families. On this day, U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff in tribute to those who gave their lives in service.
As mayor of Columbia Heights, I call on all residents to recognize and appreciate our local law enforcement officers' courage, commitment, and contributions, and join me in building a safe and inclusive, connected community. I proclaim May 11th through 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in the city of Columbia Heights, County of Anoka, State of Minnesota, USA. And with this, we have a proclamation, but I'll invite the chief to kind of introduce our new staff who are coming on, and Officer Peen is going to receive the proclamation. I was kind of like, I don't know how we're going to do all this.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, yes, Sergeant Peen will accept the proclamation. He's currently a longstanding member of LEMA, Law Enforcement Memorial Association. He attends officers' funerals around the states, helps plan them. He's been doing it for years and representing our department very well. We'll be doing a ceremony, a wreath ceremony for Officer Ramsdale on the 14th at 9 p.m. at the state capitol at the Law Enforcement Memorial. So I can introduce new staff who want to do that before.
We could do the proclamation with the sergeant and then have all the staff come up, if that's all right.
Yep.
All right. Let's go down to give it to
Madam Mayor, members of the council, and guests tonight, sadly, Minnesota has lost 311 officers in the line of duty in our history that we know about. And so, first of all, I want to say thank you for making this proclamation. And every year we read every officer, all 311 names out loud so that their memory is never forgotten. But also the Ramsdale family. So on behalf of the Ramsdale family, the Columbia Heights Police Department, and the Minnesota Law Enforcement Memorial Association, I'd like to thank you for your continued support, and I humbly accept this on behalf of everyone who's ever worn this uniform and whoever will. So thank you.
Thank you. Maybe we should have you all line up at an angle this way so the audience can see you as well. I know you're lining up that way so that we can see you, but I know that the audience would like to see you too.
All right, Madam Mayor, members of the council, I'll introduce our new staff, and if staff could just wave as I run down the list. Starting with our newest captain, Beth Posel. Then Officer Jacoby Diedrich. Officer Thaddeus Newby Jr. And we've got current CSO Clarence Hyatt Duncan will be a sworn officer with us in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we have Jose Navarrete, and we have Ryan Volna-Rich.
Yes.
Both of them are currently enrolled in the Pathways program at Hennepin Tech. So Jose should be graduating in July and Ryan September-ish? August? Even better.
Yes.
All right, so this is our newest members, and we've got more staff coming this week and next.
Great. We're going to do it before you leave. We're going to do a photo with a council. Thank you, Chief. I'll also mention that Sergeant Pean, who is wearing the very formal uniform, he talked about Lima. And we have a police department podcast that you can look up, Columbia Heights Police. And we have a whole podcast specifically about Lima. So if you're interested in learning more about the memorial group and how they take care of other officers and their families, it's really quite powerful to learn all the ways that they take care of each other. So, all right, thank you. Next, we are going to our Public Works Week proclamation. And, oh, here's David to receive it. But our council member, Justice Spriggs, is going to read our proclamation.
National Public Works Week, May 19th through 24th, 2025. Public works professionals are essential to our community's safety, sustainability, and well-being. Their work supports the infrastructure and services that keep Columbia Heights moving, from clean water to reliable roads to waste management, public buildings, and emergency response systems. Here in Columbia Heights, our Public Works Department also cares for our parks, city gardens, flower plantings, and urban forest. They manage water quality, stormwater systems, and the upkeep of sidewalks and streets. Every time we turn on a faucet, walk or drive through the city, or have compost, garbage, or recycling picked up, we benefit from their dedication. Public Works is more than a service. It's a meaningful and rewarding career. It offers opportunities in engineering, maintenance, operations, and environmental stewardship. Our Public Works staff take great pride in serving the Columbia Heights community with care and commitment. These professionals, engineers, managers, and frontline staff build, maintain, and protect the system that supports everyday life. Their purpose-driven presence is constant, whether in quiet maintenance or during critical emergencies. National Public Works Week, now in its 65th year and sponsored by the American Public Works Association and Canadian Public Works Association, recognizes the importance of these public servants across North America. I encourage everyone in Columbia Heights, residents, civic leaders, and students alike, to learn more about the value of public works and to thank the people behind the scenes who help our city thrive.
I, Amada Marcus Simila, Mayor of Columbia Heights, proudly proclaim May 18th through 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in the city of Columbia Heights, the County of Anoka, State of Minnesota, USA. This week, let us honor the public works professionals who protect our health, ensure our safety, and enhance our quality of life. And to receive the proclamation is David Cullen, and I'm blanking on your title. Public Works Superintendent. We can go down for a photo if you don't mind.
Madam Mayor and members of the council. It is often said in public works that if you're doing your job correctly, nobody knows you've done anything at all. So on behalf of all the professional men and women we have at Public Works, thank you for this. And thank you for the city for the support and residents as well.
Thank you so much, David. And thank you to all of the audience members. We're going to now go into our community forum, and people who are welcome to speak at the community forum may fill in a form right outside the door. The speakers must provide, there's time, you could go grab one, that's okay. All speakers must provide their name and connection to Columbia Heights. In-person speakers should complete a form for the city clerk and introduce themselves at the podium. Virtual speakers should send their information to the moderator via chat and turn on their camera when called. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. Disrespectful language is not allowed. The council may ask questions or refer items for follow-up, but typically does not take action during the forum. I'll ask our city clerk to announce our first person.
Absolutely. So there's no one attending online. In council chambers, Rodney Seifert would like to address, would like to address the council.
Welcome, Rodney.
Hello, my name is Rodney Seifert. I'm a resident of Gould Avenue, a homeowner, and I was hoping to be able to talk to your consultant, but I can see that she's not here. What a shame, because she had to know we're going to come up with some questions about the parking, especially after what she said at the work meeting about like the winter, where she said that it wasn't relevant to bring it up about winter parking. All the parking is relevant on Gould Avenue. Winter, summer, fall, the whole thing.
I was going to say though, you're very welcome to ask any questions, because at this time of the meeting, we don't go back and forth to answer them. So if you want to ask questions now, our city manager will take them down and then they will have answers for you. But at the meeting, we generally don't go back and forth with questions and answers. This is just your time to speak to us.
Speak to you. Well,
Yep.
I was going to speak to you about, okay, is there a 6-hour parking ordinance in Columbia Heights? I got a couple of different answers about that. Some say there is, some say there isn't, some say there. A police officer said, "Oh, yeah, there is one, but we don't enforce it only when we need to use it." That's a question I want answered.
Okay.
I want that answered. Is there a parking ordinance for the 6-hour rule?
All right.
All right. Another one is, what are your opinions on parking on cars? Tabs on cars, on license plates. Is there a law that says they don't have to buy tabs or keep their license plates updated? Is there a law for that? Because I've counted, and I've got pictures on my phone, 12 of them already, and a new one in front of my house that is August of 24. I mean, they're not getting ticketed, they're not getting warnings to get them repaired. Most of these cars, I will wager, don't have car insurance, because you have to prove there's car insurance when you get tabs. There's so many out here parked on both sides of the street, all the way up the street, that are not in compliance with the law. I have to buy tabs. You have to buy tabs. Why don't these people have to buy tabs?
I believe people need to have tabs. The best way to let the police know is to call them.
We have been doing that.
Good.
We have been doing that.
Good, because they always have to make a note every time they receive a call to an address. And so then they can put it in their order and they will take care of it. But you have to let them know.
Saturday,
So
I went
thank
up
you.
and down on both sides of the street, and there were citations on some of them, not all of them. Some of the cars that didn't have citations, the license plates were still outdated. And there was one there that didn't have any license front or back, and it was parked outside.
Well, maybe the police had come by earlier. Maybe the police had come by at a different time. But thank you for calling the police to let them know.
Right, we have been doing that.
Good, good.
Also, I had problems with, because of parking in front of my house, where I couldn't load and unload my walker, or load, unload, to get in my house for my groceries and stuff, I had to get a handicap sign in front of my house. So I've got that. 3 times I had to call the police to remove people who were parking in my handicap spot. And one of them, the plates were for over a year old. Again, nothing was done. They said, oh, they'll tow it. But we have to wait another 24 hours, and we really have to see the person come in and out of the car. How are you going to do that? You're not going. That's crazy. You know? Mm-hmm. So, but then again, like I said, those are the questions that I want, because we would like to get at least permit parking on Gould Avenue. Mm-hmm. And we noticed that there was a new parking spot being made over there behind the library. Who's going to park there? I'd like to know. That's another question I'd like to have.
That's only for the library parking.
That big new
Only for the library. There'll be no overnight parking there. Only the library. Just like the library parking now is only for the library.
One of the questions I would like to ask your consultant about, how did she come up with the idea that there was not going to be any permit parking on Gould Avenue? The homeowners would like to know, because on my side, there's parking now. It's full all the time. On the other side of the street, there's no parking. I mean, nobody parks over there because they got the signs up. Mm-hmm. Why on my side don't have the no parking signs also? I talked to the man who has all the signs when they put up my handicap parking, and he said that they ordered like 33 signs for no parking. They thought it was going to be no parking on both sides, but now they're just sitting on a shelf in his department.
Okay, we're making a note of these questions.
Right, because it's awful difficult for a lot of us to have to go around into the alley twice as far to unload our groceries and stuff from the alley, when we could have done it from here. We bought our houses, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for our homes and stuff, and now we have a parking lot in front of our house. That is ridiculous, really, really bad.
I understand.
It's troubling for all of us up and down Gould Avenue.
I understand.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
time.
Yep, thank you. Thank you.
Kathy Bennett would like to address the council.
Questions? I'm Kathy Bennett. I guess same question again. I've been calling for the last 3 days for cars that have expired tabs by 2 and 3 years. Many of them. The police just come, they look at it, and they drive away. They're not doing anything. And there is a law that cars should be, if they're 90 days out of, they haven't had their tabs, they're supposed to be taken away. The police are supposed to take them. The crime, the people that park up by our house or whatever without the tabs and park in my neighbor's driveway. The other morning I went out to take a picture of it, and a woman walked up to the car, and she was parked about 3-4 feet across his driveway. And I walked out and I said, "You can't park like that, they're gonna tow you." That's all I said. And she went off on a rant, and she called me every dirty name possible. So I just walked back in the house, but boy, I didn't want to. And I know you probably heard we had a shooting on the block too.
Excuse me, Kathy?
Yeah.
After that person yelled at you, were you in any, so I'm so sorry that happened to you, that's awful that that woman yelled at you. Is that something that you would be able to call 911 and let them know about that?
I just walked back in my house and shut the door, and then she moved on. I was just going to wait for the next time she did it again and get out there and get a picture and send it in or call it in.
I just don't want you to be treated that way.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to put myself in danger. Let's see. Yeah, and like I said before, we were told when they put this building up that the residents here would have one parking spot per resident. So it's not really fair for us to accept or absorb all this whole apartment building. Every other apartment building I've ever been to has parking. I've never seen anything like this ever before. So I guess I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mark Veronicus would like to address the council.
Man, I saw the cops when I got here and I was like, oh man, I did something wrong. I haven't even spoke yet and I'm already gonna get arrested. But I got you guys some earplugs. Oh, my name is Mark Veronicus, 1055 Peters Place. And you guys really don't listen to anything we say, so I figured if you guys want, I could give you some earplugs so you can just drown us out while I'm speaking. If you guys want some. They're brand new, still in the package. Anyone? Anyone at all? No? I didn't think so. That being said, on the parking, why was the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. No parking not relevant to your study that you did? Is it because you never informed? Is it because you never, because you never enforced it in the first place, unless the residents called in to complain? Is that why? Then you had your cool traffic map for the parking with the cool lines, and when you came up with it, I said at that meeting, it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I was pretty clear on that, and I pointed at the engineer that came up with it, and I told her she's getting paid way too much money for what she's doing.
Mark,
You can't speak?
Mark, we're not going to aim any comments at
okay.
people. There's
Anyways.
policies that we try to do as a work.
Anyways, this is your own words. An unexpected observation over the past 4 months has been intense use of commercial parking only, 3-hour limit zone in the north and south frontage of Gould between Central Avenue Northeast and Peters Place. Staff have observed this is often full with cars bumper to bumper early in the morning, late at evening. I said that was going to be a thing that was going to be happening right from the get-go, but somehow it just snuck up. You guys didn't know it was going to happen, but it sure happened, and we, the residents, are paying the price. And then you have, you said you only had 6 violations recorded in all of 2024, whereas 13 violations have already been recorded in 2025. The increase in citations in this category demonstrates that Columbia Heights is enforcing compliance in the posted parking. I have no idea where you came up with that, because the only time you enforced anything was when the residents called it in. You guys, I think, came out one time all winter, maybe twice, and ticketed. You guys didn't tow any cars before when we had snowstorms. You didn't do anything unless the residents complained. And that's fact. And then, where was it? Staff also remarked that Peters Place, the combination of snows and cars parked on both sides of the street, can create an extremely narrow drive lane in winter. Furthermore, when cars remain parked on the street overnight, despite winter parking regulations, they also create challenges for snowplows. I said that way back in the day that was going to be a problem, and it just went on deaf ears, and now 3 months later, here you're acting like it's all brand new, like you never heard this before, ever. Well, I said this when you came up with the study, and again, right in one ear, right out the other. That's the reason I brought the earplugs. Then whatever happened to the, we're gonna give a ticket and just tow the car? That was supposed to be a thing with the police chief and I think with Aaron, who was supposed to be a thing. That obviously is not a thing. Whatever happened to that? Then, and during our whole parking fiasco we've had going on, did the city ever reach out to any of the residents, or has the residents been the only ones reaching out? Because I've never got anything in the mail from you guys saying what you guys planned on doing. The only way I heard about anything was by coming down here. There's been no transparency on your guys' part at all. It's like you just have your heads in the sand and you don't hear anything that we say. And we've been coming to these things for almost 3 years now. And I bet over the 3 years, over 90% of my neighbors, homeowners up there, have been at least to one of these meetings. We have been invested in this right from the beginning. Before this place even opened, we were vested in this because we wanted our neighborhood. We knew what the consequences were going to be of this, and we're dealing with it every day. The uptick in crime, the shootings. Is this our new norm? Are we like the heart of North Minneapolis now, or what? I mean, you know, we don't even know if we can be outside anymore because we're afraid we're going to get shot. I mean, what is going on here? We never had this kind of problem before the racial came in. We just want our normal back. It shouldn't be too much to ask. And I'm not alone. I mean, you guys, for better or worse, you guys have gotten to know me. Yeah, you know, I'd rather not know you, and I'm sure you guys would rather not know me, and that's all fine and dandy. I mean, I was telling all my neighbors, this is my last one. Because when I come to one of these, I'm missing a 12-hour shift of work. I can't keep doing this. I only have so much vacation, and when I come here, I'm not getting paid. It's, you know, and money is, you know, money. And if you're not making money because you're here, you know, eventually you lose everything. So I have to get back to doing me. And then, my phone over there? I can come back up again, but I have some comments from some of my neighbors on my phone. Can I come back up and read those after you go through the rest of these? Because some of the neighbors couldn't be here, and they had opinions on what they wanted to say too. So after the rest of them, can I come back up and read their comments?
If they're different than what you've already
Yeah,
said.
theirs are their own words, not mine.
Sure, that's fine.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Paul Edner would like to address the council.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, distinguished guests. I'll be reiterating some of the details that my neighbors have said, but with also some clarifications. Last year, we were promised a 3-month assessment regarding from the time that the parking signs went up. 3 months later, we were supposed to have an assessment. At the last council meeting, we were told no such assessment was done. At last week's work session, the community that showed up were not allowed to contribute. I understand that it's not a speaking forum, but we were not allowed to contribute to the conversation. All parties, Alatus, the community, and the council should all be working together to resolve these issues. Councilmember Beskins last year was in support of the residents. He publicly stated that much needed to be done and that she wouldn't accept the parking issues. However, on this work session, her only questions were, how does it affect the businesses, and can we get the commercial parking extended? So that didn't really address residents. We'd like to, again, have our words heard more than just at a community forum, but at a meeting regarding the parking issues. With regards to the impounded for cars being impounded for license plates, It is section 502.3 of the Columbia Heights Police Department Policy Manual. So making it clear it's not a law, but policy manual, bullet point number 6 says that a motor vehicle should be impounded if its license plates are more than 90 days past expiration. And as you've heard, we've had several cars that had tabs that were long past expired. The police have chalked the tires and then left, but we haven't had them towed just for the license plates, or at least none that the homeowners have noticed. The 6-hour parking rule is City Ordinance 1490-7.205A, which says that no one may park in the same spot for more than 6 hours. Owners of rental, in the same ordinance, it says that owners of rental properties, such as a lattice, are to provide sufficient off-street parking for tenants. My opinion, it hasn't met that criteria. I understand they have provided a parking spot, one for each unit, and that it costs extra. All my apartment experiences have been that parking was included with the rent. So again, I would like to have a lattice, the community and the council together to resolve some of these issues. So people are still doing their parking the way that the way that they feel. Some in front of my driveway. We try and get pictures, try and report it to the police. And when there is a gross violation like the blocking of my driveway, yes, the police will tow, but we'd like to see that happen for any cars that are parked illegally. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Joe Macko would like to address the council.
Welcome, Joe.
Hi, everyone. Your Honor, Amanda, distinguished council members and guests. My name is Joe Macko. I'm the current president of the Columbia Heights Lions. And I'm actually nervous. I can't believe it. Here, I'll picture everybody naked. Oh, shit. Oh. Oops. Anyway, I'm here to announce that Columbia Heights Lions is going to have the Jamboree. And it's going to be at the end of June, and that is the 26th. We're having the City Knights play on Thursday night. 27th is the parade, and then there'll be another band there. The 28th, we're going to have on Saturday, we're going to have a special thing. I have not tried this before. We've had some professional wrestling at Immersion Hall, and it's been going great guns. People love it. And even I was in the business, the wrestlers confide in me. They love coming here to perform because the people are so fun to perform for. So we are going to have ourselves a slamboree in the Jamboree. It's going to be a kick butt time. We're going to have fun. And the idea turned out so well that Spring Lake Park is going to use theirs for Tower Days too. They're going to have some professional wrestling as well. So it's a fun time. We're going to check it out. There's no extra cost again. We charge $2 at the gate to get in. It's a crowd deterrent to keep riffraff out, and it works very well. We thank the police for saying something about that. And by the way, just a little off note, the first time I ever met Amada was at a professional wrestling match, and I got the picture. I do 3 things. I did professional wrestling, I played the accordion, and I did Santa Claus. All 3 are in this picture when I met Amada. I got to do all, and it's my trifecta. So I have that when I met her, and that's my little monument to my posterior. Anyway, I just wanted to say if there's anything else that you want or need, we're here for you. We're going to have a grand time during those days. And I thank everybody.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Derek Lind would like to address the council.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, my name is Derek Lind. I'm with ACID. I don't know if you recognize me. I've been up here a couple of times regarding election integrity, and that's why I'm here again tonight. Tonight, I would like to draw your attention to your poll pad agreements. Poll pads are what you check in on, what the voters check in on, only on election day. So they're only used one day out of the year. It's been the hot topic lately. These poll pad agreements came out in 2018, and what we found is that the county never properly voted on it, and most of the cities never voted on it either. In fact, Columbia Heights is one of those cities that never voted on it. So this was a major change to our election system. The county's supposed to vote on it, you're supposed to vote on it, and then you have these agreements. So we're asking you to look at this agreement and see if you like it. 2 cities have already canceled their agreement. Some cities have JPAs. You guys just have a regular service agreement. If you could look at page 1 real quick, it says on there that you guys never properly voted for the agreement in 2018. The Ramsey city attorney said this is a lousy agreement for the cities. It's a good deal for the county, not for the cities. That's why we're asking you to take another look at it. Page 2, there could be, it's actually page 3, the next page, there could be some liability associated with that, and that's why we're asking you to have your lawyers take a look at it. And the third page, there's a lot of Minnesota statutes pertaining to this. It's kind of complex. And I think what happened in 18, these things were new, and you guys had state money, or the county had state money, so it just kind of got rushed out. Wasn't properly done, so we're asking you to take a closer look at it. A couple other points. Poll pads, again, were the hot topic at the county level. There was a vote, took place about a month or 2 ago. 2 county commissioners voted against that. 1 county commissioner abstained from that vote or wasn't there for the vote. So it went from 7-0 to 4-2, so it was a very close vote. Also, last week, the county of Santee voted 4-0 to get rid of these electronic poll pads. So the citizens up there decided they don't want to use them, they want to go back to paper. So I know you guys probably weren't expecting me to come in, you probably don't have any questions, but if you do have further questions, our contact information is on there. And I thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
So no one has joined us online, and that is the end of the people who have asked to address the
All right.
council.
Mark, if you have like 5 sentences to read from your neighbors, we will jot them down so they're heard.
I'm not going to miss coming here. I'm kind of excited. I know it's the last time. I'm just like, yep. Anyways, this is from Tanya and Mike. They've been down here a few times for a couple of these meetings. Yeah, you can hear me? Yeah. Mike says, I appreciate everything you're doing. I wish I could be there this time. I just don't think the city really cares. It doesn't affect them. I really wish we could get them to come out and see it for themselves, like on a weeknight and in the mornings on a weekend also. Like after a movie theater is closed, see what we're saying. But the police won't even do anything if it was permit parking. They wouldn't do anything, period. Anyways, people park in Ronnie's handicap parking in front of his house. Never seen anything done about that. Good luck. Have a good night. That's him. And then Alyssa, where is she? There we are. Then Alyssa said, I'll not be attending, but I wrote something. She said, my primary concern is enforcing the business parking hours by ratio. Additionally, I believe the city should consider implementing permit parking due to the unusual activities occurring at night. It's challenging to identify the cars involved as residents of our street, and permit parking would provide assurances that people parking on our street are residents. There have been instances where non-residents park on our street, play loud music for extended periods, and I can't confirm their activities, but I've noticed the lighters flickering inside. Personally, I feel uncomfortable confronting them, so at the very least, some form of patrolling enforcement behavior would be greatly appreciated. We've been patient with the city, but unfortunately, the situation hasn't improved in the past 6 months. Please consider enforcing permit parking based off our persistence and the situations on Golden Peters Place. And then Mildred, third house up, left side, she said, whatever happened to fixing the vent on the back of the building? I can't sit in my backyard. And I went out there with my decibel meter. It's still just as loud back there as it was last year, and it was supposed to have been taken care of by now. And you can still hear it on the other side of LaBelle Park. So if something could be done about that, she'd be very happy. And then one more thing I just thought of is in that meeting last week, you guys were talking about if you did permit parking, you'd have to include these because they're residents, so on and so on. And you were saying if it was a different situation like a hospital, you could do permit parking because it's business versus residential type of deal. But this is business and it's residential. It's almost 300 cars just for the apartments. And then you got the city parking, which is, how many spaces out there. And then you have the bank parking. So they are two completely different entities in our reality. So if you can, so as far as I'm concerned, since they are not on the same page, it shouldn't be very hard to get permit parking for just residents on Peters and Gould. So have a good one.
Thank you. You want to say one more thing? Go ahead, Rodney.
I'm Rodney Seifert again. I just wanted to emphasize that about that ordinance for the six-hour rule. I would really like to know about that. And another thing is, as a taxpayer, I know I'm paying for that consultant that you have. I would like to be able to at least ask that consultant what kind of facts and figures she used to come up with her decisions, because I know she's being paid by the city, and usually you don't want to go across somebody who's giving you a paycheck. Maybe she can come up with an idea for the owners of this apartment complex to either lower or work out something with their tenants, because there's plenty of space available, still empty up there, that these people could use if she can maybe convince the owners that they can work something out.
Thank you for asking that. She is a city employee.
Oh,
She's not a consultant, but we will have answers to those questions at our next meeting, and the council would like to know the answers too, so we will be following up.
Wonderful.
So thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And again, of course, the work session is not a place to ask the questions because we need to move forward with our business, but we do listen at the right time that we have set meetings up for. So appreciate your patience, and as you can see, we really do want to hear what everyone has to say, so thank you.
We'd like to know some of those answers.
Yes, thank you for coming in, and yes, thank you. If that brings us then, nope.
There's an additional person who would like to address the council.
All right.
Faith would like to address the council.
Thank you. Welcome. We'll have you wait till you get to the microphone, right here.
Okay,
Yep.
sorry. My name is Faith. I'm a resident of Columbia Heights since 2005. I lived in my residence, 4148 5th Street, Northeast Columbia Heights, since 2005 up to now. It's a very peaceful neighborhood, very, very, very peaceful. In those couple of years ago, you can bring out a lot of things outside. Nobody takes them. It is just very safe there. We are just living in a very safe environment. Not until about, maybe around 2019 or thereabout. My neighbor, my son grew in the house. My neighbor just moved back to Africa. He's a pastor. And this guy came in. When he came in, he wanted to use that small space. It's a residential area as a mechanic workshop. But he later stopped it. And then he ended up upgrading, making it like a stadium. So it used to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's like you don't have life to live anymore. I don't have life. Everything is cut off from me in that environment. out of noise. If you come there, hang the net everywhere. I'm cut off. I do a lot of farming on that environment, but I don't get sunlight, so I don't do farming except I love to do tomatoes. And this noise, police cannot solve that problem. I'm sorry to say that. I've lived in that, it's like, boom, boom, boom. It's on my brain. You can this is the fence, this is my window.
Faith?
So when somebody about 30, 40, 50, 70 people are playing volleyball.
Faith, yeah, this is the neighbor that's playing volleyball.
About 70 people are playing volleyball, and hey, boom, boom. From sometimes it used to be 4 o'clock to about 9 or 10. I don't have life to live. I'm a nurse. I work with Nicolette. I'm a big nurse. And I end my life with my patients. I work Monday to Friday. And then weekend is when I get myself organized. At least have rest in my house and have peace. Clean up the house, get ready for the next day. But I don't have those liberties anymore. I don't have it because it's all about noise. It's all about, it came to a point, if you bring out anything, they will steal it. I think police has come a couple of times. Even my work bag that contains about 10,000 something, I just dropped it, left it there to go in. Before I know, somebody took it. It took the company, Hennepin Healthcare, to organize my bag again because I'm a clinician. So I've been living in a lot of pain. I don't live life. I don't have life to live. Since those years this boy came, it's all about noise. It's all about noise. I called him a couple of times. I said, my neighbor, I even have hypertension. You need to help me. You're my neighbor. You are making a lot of noise. It doesn't make sense to him because he makes money. He sells food, sells drinks, sells alcohol, sells a lot of things in that small environment. It's a very small environment. And this noise has continued. I tried to tape it. I've called police over and over and over and over and over. Nothing good has come out of it. I was thinking this time, hey, they said, make America great again. I said, okay, maybe things are going to change. But now, what I'm seeing now is, it's still there, but they now bring young schoolboys. If you come there, you see maybe Columbia Heights young boys. Maybe the adults are not coming, maybe they're scared. But now, mobilizing very young boys who knew what it means to play in the school and come and play in somebody's window, knocking at my head, boom, 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 boom. I tried to talk to them. I said, don't you educate the adults? You are a student. You need to teach them what is right. If they are not educated, it's your responsibility. Hey, this is a residential area. People need to live peaceful in their home. People don't have to live at your own expenses, at your own mercy. I don't sleep until after 9, or sometimes 10. I can only sleep when they are done. And then the next morning, I wake up to go to work, and they are sleeping. This is ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. How many years have I suffered this? And the noise is just, the boy can't even control it. He's just obsessed with that noise. He finds all everywhere to anyhow he can do to maintain that noise. I don't understand why it should be so. I have some of the pictures. I took many people. How can a residential area where you people have your homes, if somebody comes every weekend and knocking on you, what type of life is that?
Yeah. Do you have the pictures with you then?
What type of life does that make? I don't know. I don't sleep here.
Can we, okay, yes. And so he's going to give you his business card.
I don't have I live at their own.
Yeah, I understand, Faith. So Mitch is our community development person, and this is in his area to be checking on the properties. So he's going to go get his business card so that you can email the photos so that they can look at it from that way to see what the city can do.
Yeah, but the city,
For the
I
volleyball.
believe, I came from a third world country. Really. We came here to better our life. Let's be realistic. And the type of noise I receive here, I didn't explain. I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah. After all this struggle to come here, now it's like I'm living in a worse environment than what I used to have, even at my age. I can't sleep in my house. I have to wait for my neighbor. I can't plant something and get it. because it dominated everywhere. There's everywhere is like a dark. Come to my compound and see. It doesn't look like where people live. Everything is just no air, no space. The boy just occupied everything, and nobody is doing anything about it.
Well, Faith,
Nobody is doing everything about it.
I'm glad you came in. I remember talking to you on the phone about this, and I have talked with the police chief about this as well, your neighbor. But it sounds like Mitch is going to take this to the next step. So we will definitely make a note of the noise in the
Somebody can come
volleyball.
there now. You can see why I'm crying now is why secondary school boys, young boys, they make more noise than adults. And why senior secondary school boys. And now they will have to come and make noise in somebody's compound. Does it make sense?
No.
It doesn't make, none of you can tolerate that noise. Yeah. You need to live peacefully in your home and take care of your health. But it doesn't happen.
Yes, well, thank you for coming, because we can now that you've been here to say something, we will take it to that, to make a note of it and look into this. Do you have any other questions for us or anything
It's just about that noise.
Okay.
I mean, the stadium, there is a park here. They can always do whatever they want to do. But this is my home.
Yes, absolutely. We
It's
have
my
noise
house.
ordinances.
I lived many years there before he came.
Mm-hmm.
It's very peaceful. But now you can't bring a... There's camera at my back. There's camera. That's how I'm living. If I leave that place with that camera, one night they will just... Everything will disappear. At least I showed the police one night somebody was naked for 2 hours walking around my compound. I showed that to police. I think they stopped that one. I think they stopped them from, coming around because young kids, they will see them rushing into my compound, making noise. I'm getting out and making noise. It's not every people.
Yes, we don't want to have that happening. We want to do something about it. So, Mitch, you have given her your card, right? Okay.
Yep,
Faith,
please.
if you could.
I'm sorry to interrupt
Nope.
you.
No,
Nope,
this
we're
is
happy to have
this
you.
is time to listen.
Thank
Yes,
you so
yes,
much.
thank you.
I can go, right?
Yep, you can go now. Thank you, Faith. I'm so sorry to hear about your troubles. Is there anyone else who would like to speak at our community forum?
There's not.
All right, and there's nobody online, so we will move to our consent agenda. Any discussion about our consent agenda from the council? All right, we'll have our city manager take us through the items.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Item 1 on the consent agenda this evening is acceptance of the April 7th, 2025 regular EDA meeting minutes. Item 2 is acceptance of the April 2nd, 2025 library board meeting minutes. Item 3 is approval of the city's leadership norms, result of the retreat that recently took place between city council and management staff at the city, memorializing those, and just noting that they're a living document that can be changed when we need to. Item 4, authorization to seek bids for the 2025 sanitary sewer lining project. So this is just authorization to go out for bids for a project that was already anticipated in this year, lining sanitary sewer mains. Item 5, approve change order number 1 to Equity Builders contract for the 2025 alley program and Sullivan Lake Fitness Court. So the city just awarded this project at the last council meeting, and through contract review and bid document review, staff identified an issue that the city had not clarified, that a portion, specifically the sport court portion of this project where they're going to put the concrete pad down for the sport court at Sullivan Lake, is subject to federal prevailing wages, Davis-Bacon laws, because the city had received grant money from the Community Development Block Program at Anoka County. Ultimately, the source of that is federal. So the city needs to go out and rebid just that portion of the project to make sure that compliance is clearly stated in our bid documents and that there are no missteps due to those additional regulations. It's expected that Equity Builders will submit a bid the second time around, but it'll be open back up to the same group of contractors. Item 6 are the routine business licenses for approval. Item 7 are the routine rental occupancy licenses for approval. And finally, item 8 is bills for this period, which total $1,420,147.56. Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any comments or questions from the council? Hearing none then, and thank you for taking us through the items. Then may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Spriggs and a second by Councilmember James. Any discussion? Hearing none then, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Thank you. We have no public hearings tonight. This takes us to our items for consideration. Item number 9, consideration on professional service agreement for the development of soccer fields in Columbia Heights. And I think Aaron will take us through this again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. So the item before you is consideration of a proposal for consultant engineering services with WSB, a firm that's worked with the city's park planning over the years on several occasions and has embedded knowledge of the city's park system, has even done a preliminary analysis on where soccer fields might be sited in the city. Recently, the council directed staff to put an emphasis on this initiative to work with the city's Parks and Recreation Commission to kick off an engagement effort and a planning effort around siting one or more soccer fields in the city. This will include a look at several of the parks that we already know to be most viable, and exercise and engaging with residents around the parks that are deemed to be potential locations for a soccer field, engagement with stakeholders around the sport of soccer. So who are the users that are known to the city that might have feedback as to how we develop and design a soccer field. And then meetings between the Parks and Rec Commission and the City Council at a work session once kind of plans have been funneled through that engagement process with the broader community, with the end goal of, picking a location, doing a master plan for whatever park is determined to be best, and designing a field or fields in that location, and then doing the design work that's needed to actually secure quotes and bids for that work, and then present that for consideration to the city council, likely for the earliest construction would begin in the spring of next year. So with that, Madam Mayor, the contract award in this case is $36,250, and we're seeking a budget amendment also to our Parks Capital Improvement Fund 412 in the amount of $40,000 to give a slight buffer for potential change orders as we move through the process. So because this wasn't formally budgeted in the 2025 budget, there's sufficient resources in that Parks Capital Fund to amend the budget and award the contract.
Thank you. Such exciting news. Any comments from the council? Councilmember James?
Thank you so much. Thank you, City Manager, for bringing this forward, and for all the residents who have been advocating for a long time for us to have this soccer field. I know that the process will include a lot of opportunities for public input, and I'm grateful for the public meetings that'll be coming up, and I'm sure there'll be surveys and conversations. I would like to advocate for multiple fields because I know most of the time when they're using soccer, there's 2 fields happening at the same time. The tentative schedule, that was my question for the city manager. I saw in the bid from the contractor that they were looking at perhaps having the final master plan in October of 2025. Could you speak to the schedule at all?
That's correct, Councilmember James. Just looking at the tentative schedule, trying to hit the final master plan completion in the fall of this year. Yep, so October.
Thank you. So then that would give us an opportunity to wrap that into our budgeting plan for the next year, because this lump sum, for those who are paying, this is just for the planning phase. The next amount will have to be, what are we going to budget for construction phase? So I'm really grateful for the work of the Parks and Recreation Commission and for all those who brought this forward.
Awesome. Thank you. Councilmember Spriggs?
Councilmember James said most of what I was thinking. Just super excited for this and really excited for the community outreach, both with the Parks Board, with us, and then also with all the residents involved, both who live in the areas and then would mostly utilize the soccer field. So really excited to kind of see this initiative move forward.
Awesome. Yes, we're just so excited. I know I can probably say on behalf of Councilmember Biskins and Deneen that the full council very much supports us moving forward on creating these soccer fields, and with the program happening with the school district and soccer increasing at Parks and Rec, we know that the community is ready for it and excited. So this will be a good year to get that going. So thank you. All right, well, hearing that then, may I have a motion to waive the reading?
Move to waive the reading of Resolution 2025-41, there being ample copies available to the public.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember James and a second by Councilmember Spriggs to waive the reading. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. And next, I have a motion to approve the resolution.
Move to approve Resolution 2025-41, a resolution approving professional services agreement with WSB and appropriating a budget of $40,000 from the fund balance of the Parks Capital Improvement Fund 412.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember James and a second by Councilmember Spriggs to approve the resolution. Any discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Exciting soccer stuff to come. Next, item number 10, consideration of ordinance number 1713, approving alcohol at city-sponsored events.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, before you this evening is the first reading of ordinance 1713, which was presented to the council at the work session last week. Ultimately, ordinance 1713 does two things. The first is it removes an old 3.2% prohibition. So anything above 3.2% alcohol would not be able to be served in city parks. This is being removed because it is an old ordinance. 3.2% alcohol is not very much a thing anymore. And it would also limit some of the jamboree items or any other events that anyone would be having within the parks. It also allows, as the ordinance states, for city events to be excluded from the prohibitions of 10.201 Section O, which is not uncommon as we have exclusions for Immersion Hall and Huset Park as well. With that, at the work session, Councilmember Deneen asked about THC beverages at events. So staff are still working with legal as the state's definitions, and the relationship between THC beverages and alcohol hasn't been clearly defined. As of right now, any event that has THC or like a public-facing event that would sell THC beverages is supposed to have a THC organizer's license from the state, and then the city, we already have our own permitting process for those THC licenses. That would not allow other events. We do not allow THC events to go on public property, so that would limit anyone from having a THC event within a park within the city of Columbia Heights. Might be some future issues or some future clarification needed as the state continues to push THC items down, but staff will keep an eye on that and bring any future amendments or problems forward to the city council.
Awesome, thank you. And I know that Councilmember Deneen and Councilmember Biskins will watch the recording of this, so they'll get that extra information about the parks. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the council? I just want to say that I think this will be, kind of a fun addition, and will kind of like anything at the city, though I think that our staff is open to, and council are open to trying some things too. So this is something that will be new for us. And we have seen other organizations do this, but as a city, we haven't done this before. So we will always come back and check on things and make sure it's the right fit for our community. And so if there's nothing else to be said, then may I have a motion then to waive the reading?
Move to waive the reading of ordinance number 1713, there being ample copies available to the public.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Spriggs and a second by Councilmember James to waive the reading. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. And next we have a motion to set the second reading.
Move to set the second reading of ordinance number 1713, being an ordinance amending chapter 10.201 of the Columbia Heights City Code to allow the sale of alcohol at city-sponsored events for May 27th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Spriggs and a second by Councilmember James to set the second reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. The next reading will be at our meeting on May 27th, which is a Tuesday because of the Memorial Day holiday. All right. Then that takes us to the end of our meeting, which is our city council reports, and we can start with Councilmember James.
Thank you, Mayor. Some of the things that I've been working on the last couple of weeks, we are working on planning a peace breakfast in Columbia Heights, and I'll just say I've been part of that. I had a meeting with the city council member from the city of Ramsey to talk about initiatives in that city that may impact us. We had our EDA and work session. I was able to participate in the blood drive at the Public Safety Building, and thank you to all of the staff that set that up and volunteered, and for everyone who gave blood. And then we had our strategic planning with the city, and that was a wonderful time to meet with all the department heads and council. Other things in my report, I just wanted to mention for those who are watching the meeting regarding the parking on Gould and Peters, we were all as a council following the situation carefully. We're so grateful for our community development staff preparing a report, which you can find in the work session packet. And we took a lot of time to carefully look that through and understand the options and the struggles. I reported at that meeting and will say again, I continue to be concerned about cars parking in front of driveways and in handicapped places. I think that's a major safety issue. And I know that with our new officers that we were introduced to tonight, we will have even more police presence and opportunity to enforce that. But we do rely on a partnership with our residents and our citizens. And so if you're in any block, whether it's Gould or Peters or anywhere in the city, please do call and report. It does help us to track what's going on. In addition, conversation and questions, you are welcome to come to our public meeting, but all of these things can also be submitted in writing and email. I heard a resident today speak about taking time off work. We are happy to receive information by email or in written letter form in advance, and that does get weaved into the staff reports. And so that's how we listen to input from our residents. So thank you.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you sharing about another way to participate without having to come in person or even to be with the timing to be virtually. Yes, we read all the emails. We will submit them as information for this meeting packet. So not being here doesn't mean you won't be included in the meeting itself. So we just want to let you know that is very important to us that you are seen and heard, and we appreciate you. If you call and leave a message, we can do that. If you send an email. So thank you for mentioning that. Next, we'll hear from Councilmember Spriggs with his report.
Thank you, Mayor. Been busy at the hospital, so not a ton to report, but as Councilmember James had alluded to, EDA and work session last week. Also participated in our city strategic planning as well, and really appreciate the couple sessions we've done now over multiple years, just one coming together as city staff and elected officials and just kind of shaping the vision for our city for the next couple of years. I always enjoy it and really think it's a good exercise and helps the city as a whole. And then the one other thing I'll comment on, I know the mayor and I worked with a lot of local elected officials and nonprofit leaders to create essentially a letter about the kind of state of funding and the importance of these different nonprofits to our communities. And we had sent that out to a local newspaper to hopefully kind of amplify, the concerns that are going on, and these critical resources need to continue to receive funding to support our communities.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. We sent out a letter to the editor and had other electeds and nonprofit leaders sign on to it, but we'll wait and hopefully it gets printed this week, and then we can talk more about it. But thank you. And also Councilmember James was a signer on that as well. Let's see, my report over the past couple weeks, I've had opportunities to still engage, even though life has been very busy this month. April 29th, I had a delicious honor of judging the Columbia Heights High School after-school dessert contest with our police chief, our county attorney, and our school superintendent and the fire chief. Congratulations to the winners at the school for their incredible strawberry chocolate cupcakes. We met with the planning team for our upcoming summer peace breakfast, and that will be on July 10th, so June 10th. So that's coming up soon. And tickets will be available shortly on a website, but it's still a work in progress. So that's really working with a lot of the faith communities and nonprofits in the city. I had my check-in meetings with the police chief and our city attorney, attended the screening for the really powerful Tibetan film, 4 Rivers and 6 Ranges. We had a proclamation for that at our last council meeting. The director of the movie was there. It was at the Heights Theater, and it was a sold-out show. Just such a meaningful film about the exodus of the Dalai Lama and so many people that have had to become refugees to survive what's happening in Tibet. That movie, I don't know when it's going to come to another recording or be able to have it streamed, but I definitely recommend watching it. I participated with the Regional Council of Mayors meetings. Today, our meeting, we had one of our speakers was Excel, and they were talking about their energy plans for sustainability and how they hope to be fossil fuel free in like 2030, carbon neutral in 2030. So just hearing a lot about battery storage and what we're doing with green energy across the region. It's just things moving so fast. The next 10 years are going to be so different than we can imagine. And took part in our council work session last week in the EDA meetings. And then we had an Operation Pollination meeting, attended our Rotary Club, and we are going to be working with the State Fair this year for their at the Agricultural Building. So we're excited to have the opportunity. Attended the library board meeting and as a liaison, but also our city manager was at the library board meeting as well. We were there to share our support for our boards and commissions and let them know that we are sending out information to make sure that they are feeling confident in their abilities to run their meetings and know that the council and staff are here to support them in their work. And how much we appreciate our board and commission members. I participated in the strategic planning and goal setting, as mentioned by my council members. And then on a personal note, I took some used motor oil to the recycling center on Saturday. My husband likes to change the oil himself, and so we're so glad that we have a recycling center here that takes that. Excuse me. And just so glad that the Kiwanis volunteers and the Key Club kids who staff our center every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Make sure you check out our recycling center if you haven't been there yet. And then lastly, I want to announce that Cheers for Beers is this Friday. That is a beer tasting event partnered with Top Value, our municipal liquor stores, and Heights Next, a local nonprofit. There are sampling beers, there's a DJ dance party, food trucks, and also gift basket drawing. So if you get your tickets early, you'll save $5. And the event is on Friday from 6 to 9 at Immersion Hall. And tickets are available at cheersforbeersmn.com. Thank you. And I'll go on to our city manager with his report.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, just a few items of note. The city's 2025 summer newsletter should be in mailbox later this week or early next week. This newsletter has important information on events for residents. It can also be found online. And for the first time, a Spanish newsletter will be available online soon. And also an English-Spanish youth rec brochure will be distributed to the public schools. A red flag warning. So the National Weather Service and Minnesota Department of Natural Resources have issued a red flag warning for much of Minnesota, including Anoka County, due to heightened risk of fire. Recreational fires within the city are strongly discouraged right now. An update on the fiber optic internet expansion. USI Internet has begun installing fiber optic internet infrastructure in Columbia Heights. Work started in the eastern portion of the city and is expected to expand through Columbia Heights over the next 2 to 3 years. Visit the city's website for more information. And finally, the city would like to invite residents of Columbia Heights to a Memorial Day observance event on Monday, May 26th at 11 a.m. at the War Memorial next to the city's splash pad at Husett Park, 520 Mill Street. Thank you.
Thank you. And Aaron, could you repeat what you had said at the beginning of your report?
Yeah, absolutely. Which item, Madam Mayor, the newsletter or?
The newsletter. I just wanted to say thank you to staff and congratulations that we're going to be able to offer both the Park and Rec in Spanish and English, and then they'll be available in Spanish as well. So I just really want to say thank you to staff for making that happen and bringing on new people to kind of give us this update to make us a little closer to the community. So I think that's a really big win. I just want to kind of mention it. That's great.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and hats off to the communications team, Will Rotler and Kat, for all of the work that they're doing, and the new multicultural liaison, Angela, as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, if there's nothing else then for the meeting, then we can adjourn. If I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Spriggs, a second by Councilmember James to adjourn the meeting. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.